Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards here, and today I'm doing a video again where I'm speaking in front of an empty case. Just like to do this once in a while to give some thoughts on where I'm at with the hobby, do a couple shout outs. I'm going to show a few cards in this video as well, just to kind of touch on things that I'm buying at this time and where my focus is. So just first going to start out mainly with, I just want to thank all those that are creating content still, and enjoying watching a lot of the videos. I'm still doing content myself, try to do a few videos a week, usually a total of about 20 minutes. Usually do a 5-minute video for my hockey card of the week for my case build. Then if I'm doing like a series, like right now I'm doing if I can build one case series where I'm putting a case of 30 cards together of my favorite cards in my collection. If I can only keep 30 cards in my whole collection, those would be the ones. So I do that video, and then I usually just do like a third video of whatever, usually a set profile or something like this. So today, again, just gonna give some thoughts of where I'm at. First of all, is that we know we're still kind of in the crazy hobby times. Some good coming out of it, some not so good. Of course, some of the good is all the generated interest in the hobby and attention that it's getting. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of high product prices, high card prices, things like that. It's making it hard for certainly some of the kids to collect, and adults as well. But you just have to really try to be savvy during these times, and just kind of assess where you want to be with your collection and how you want to spend your budget, which can be a challenge. For me personally, as I've mentioned before, I'm selling off pretty good parts of my collection where I just don't have the interest in those cards anymore. There are no cards that I've ever shown in any videos that I've done, because that's my core collection. But I had a lot of other graded cards that just weren't really fitting what I wanted to collect anymore. So I'm taking advantage of that to spend that money on other things that are of more interest to me. So I'm still doing that. I'm almost done with that now. Got a few more cards that I want to sell. And what I've been buying is finishing up my 50s through 1989 run of football NFL issued cards from 1950 to 1989, Topps and Bowman and Philadelphia chewing gum. I only need less than 20 to get the entire key card 18 run for each year. None of them are real expensive ones, but they're kind of hard to find. They're all, with the exception of a few late 80s cards, they're all from 1950 to 1953. I finished from 54 until 87, so I don't really have that many left to get. Just waiting to get those. I do have the budget set aside, but just waiting to find them at decent prices. I'll show one pickup I made today for my 50 Bowman football run. So I'm doing that. I'm buying a lot of vintage hockey from 1952 into the early 70s. I've been building my vintage card hockey case build, so I've been doing that. So I just got those kind of things going. I've been putting a lot of my cards in these perfect fit sleeves. I like these a lot because I've been reorganizing my card room, changing out from football to baseball, and some hockey in there as well. In my room, I display about 300 cards roughly in magazines, so I try to change those out during baseball season in the April time frame, and then I switch over to football September, October time frame. And throughout the course of the seasons, I'll switch my cases out and just display different cards. And for my collection, if I can't display the cards, at least over a few year period, I generally move them, because I do like to have my cards displayed. That's the kind of collector I am. I'm very visual like that. I like to admire the look of the cards in the cases, appreciate sitting there and taking in the memories and learning about the history of the cards, and I just like having the cards on display. So it's just the type of collector I am, so I do like to have things on display at some point. So enough of that. Let me just do a couple shout outs first. First I'm going to do is That Oilers Fan 1981, Scott. He's got about 91 subscribers. He's just a great guy in this community. He's got an awesome channel where he shows hockey cards from the 80s on up, baseball as well, does some pack rips. He's got a cool fireplace in the background of all his videos. Just a really super considerate guy too. Did something real nice for my son. Sent him a package over that my son was just ecstatic about. Not going to share all the details on that because, you know, we just kind of try to keep things low-key when, you know, when you give to others and things like that. This is the way we operate. But just want to recognize him, though, because he's just doing, you know, great things on his channel, and he's even a greater guy. So if you haven't subscribed to him, please consider. He's at 91 subs. At the very least, I just want to raise him up and let everybody know how good a person that he is. Next up is Plakata Cards, another great person in this community, Walter, another one of my Canadian friends. He's a guy that I put videos out and he'll pass it on to some of his friends in the card community to show them. So they come over to my channel, and just a guy that I have a lot of respect for as a family person as well, kind of like what I said about Lou Rock. Seems very family oriented with his boys, and him and his wife, by every indication, appear to be raising some great kids. So I just want to recognize him. Puts together outstanding videos. Quite envious of his videos, to be honest, because he's got real good editing and things like that. It's not really something that I'm good at or is into. So I just want to kind of raise him up and hopefully get some love over his way and subscribe to his channel. I think he's got about 260 or so subscribers. And then lastly is Alan's Cards. I'm sorry. Alan's another great guy in the community. He's got a great Goudey collection, post-war vintage, Ted Williams cards, Babe Ruth, Dizzy Dean. He's just got all kinds of the greats from the 30s into the 50s. And I believe he even has some T206 cards and stuff too. So just give him a look if you would. He doesn't make that many videos, but when he does make videos, they are outstanding. So he's a guy that you just subscribe to, and then when one of his videos pop up, it's a must-watch. He's also very interactive with comments, and he's, you know, always open to commenting back and forth about different cards and things like that. So I just want to raise him up and give him a shout out. He's got about 80 subscribers. Should have a lot more than that. So give him a look. So now let me just kind of show you some of the things that I'm buying lately that are going in with some of my collections. First here, I'm building, like I said, from 1950 to 1989 in football, the 18 key cards from every year. For 1950, I'm at 16 now of the 18. I need 2 more. Picked up this Speedy Rookie. Very hard to find these at a reasonable price. So I got here grade 5 in this. One hit auction, and it hit a pretty reasonable amount, so it was within my budget, so I pulled the trigger on it. Just a beautiful example. Speedy, one of the all-time leading receivers when he retired, and he actually didn't really retire from the NFL. He went over to the CFL. Had a falling out with Paul Brown. Kept him out of the Hall of Fame probably for a lot of years, but him and Dante Lavelli were just an outstanding 1-2 punch for the Browns. So just a great pickup there. I'll show the back of it. There you go. And then I'm working on 84 Donruss top 30 cards. I need 4 more to finish it. And here's the Don Sutton. So just like I said, I need 4 more to complete that, and just pick that one up. So it's one of the few 80 sets that I'm still working on. And then showed this one a little early, but here it is here, Lefty Grove. And I'm starting to buy some other grading companies besides BBG, or I'm sorry, besides PSA and SGC. I'm getting a little bit into BBG. It's got to be a credible company, though, if I'm going to buy it. But there's, you know, for those who just buy PSA, I mean, this is a good reason why you should look elsewhere sometimes for the price. This card is beautiful. It's got great coloring on it. It's grade 5. The only thing that keeps it, I think, from higher is the corners. But it also has a subgrades on it, which is pretty cool. You know, I don't have a lot of BBG cards, but I like that it did that. So I normally don't talk tons and tons about grades, but you can just see here outstanding centering, 8 of 10, edges 8 of 10, surface 9 of 10. Great color. So I was super pleased to add this one to my collection. And don't have a ton of 30s Goudey cards. I have a few, but this was one I had my eye on for a while. And then lastly, a couple hockey pickups I made. I've been buying some vintage hockey, like I said. I think the values on these are pretty good right now. I've been picking up some Gordie Howes, mid to higher grade stuff, just because I think the floor on hockey is very high. I don't think it's going to drop much if there's a correction. There's a lot of passionate hockey collectors out there. So I'm not really too worried about crazy price drops where you could see it maybe with some of the other stuff. So I think it's a good place for me. I'm not a card investor really by any means, but I also want to get the most for my money. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I kind of know, you know, where the value is and things like that, and what I am really interested in. And hockey's always been a passion. And I'm not a huge hockey watcher of modern hockey, but I love the history of the game. I collected cards as a kid. Hockey cards were a big part of my collection, my brother and I. So it's been great reconnecting with hockey, learning a lot about the history of the game. I'm thoroughly enjoying doing my case build of the 30 cards from 1952 to 1963, 30 star cards, and profiling those every week. I'm having a blast researching them, and that's where I'm, you know, at my happiest collecting, is when I'm kind of learning about the players and reading up on them, and then buying them and adding them to my collection. Not just accumulating, but actually, you know, bringing them in and connecting with those cards. That's kind of what it's about for me. So I'm going to let everybody go now. Don't want to run too late with this video. As always, I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for my time. Check out these 3 channels if you would. And you have a great weekend.